Welcome to D&M Reptiles. I want to talk about a couple things today. First thing is we did have a loss. Hades, our 50% Kalatoa Phantom Tiger snake died. We don't know what ended up killing him or why he died. He seemed okay. There was really no warning signs. He was fed very heavy as a hatchling. The previous owners thought that he was a female. And so they fed him extremely heavy. So he put on a lot of weight really fast early in life. He was one of our largest snakes at 50% Kalatoa and under 4 years old. I think he was going to be 4 this year. So I guess that's one topic that I wanted to talk about is like the amount that you should be feeding these animals. I think that even the once a week may be a little high. Maybe during breeding season, that might be a reason to feed your females a little bit heavier. I am fairly new to retics, so I don't have a whole lot of knowledge besides the stuff that I've done research-wise. We're going to feed, what I'm doing right here is our ternate needs a good cleaning. So we're going to, look at her, she's always on point. Ready to eat, ready to eat. This is our 100% ternate. Her name is Athena. She is a pretty girl. But she is an F1. So she can be a bit difficult to... Jeez. So, yeah. Anyway, so that was a 3X quail. It's not a huge meal for her. But yeah, speaking of feeding, she is being fed a little bit heavy right now. This enclosure is a mess. But yes, so back to Hades. So Hades, once we acquired him, we tried to put him on a lighter diet to try to bring his weight back down. And he was doing great. I believe when we weighed him at the vet, he was 28 pounds. That was when when he was dead. So that was maybe a little bit heavier because of bloating or something. I don't really know exactly how that would work, but yeah. So what is the appropriate amount? I've heard some things from researchers and scientists that their research snakes that they use, they feed them once a month. The adults, they feed the adults once a month. And then, the question is how large of a prey item do you feed them once a month? But anyways, with Hades, I had fed him, I guess it was about a week prior to his death, and towards the end there, he was real difficult to get to eat. He would strike and coil, and then, sit on it for a minute, but then he wouldn't come back around and eat it. He would just leave it, and I'd come back and I'd have to get him to strike it again, and then sometimes he would eventually eat it, and sometimes he wouldn't. You'd have to take it out. But then he ate that last meal without any apparent problems. So I mean, we had no reason to think that he wasn't healthy. He seemed healthy. We didn't see any respiratory. We did a necropsy on him. I think that's what it's called. It's basically like a what do they do for humans? I don't know, where they try to find out what was the cause of death.
Just fed this girl.
So I think they call it a necropsy.
Freya.
She just ate a big old chicken. So yeah, so we had fed Hades, and a week prior. So the necropsy came back. Nothing. She said that nothing really stood out as far as a cause of death. The one thing, once we started talking to her about it, she knew his history, and she did say that there was some fat around his heart, little beads of fat build up around his heart. So that was one thing that she did notice, and we believe that was caused from the heavy feeding. This snake was only 3 years old, like I said. So I think in the industry we might need to talk about how much to feed, Yeah, and Hades was a great snake. Once you got him out, even when he was in, he was never really aggressive at the enclosure. So we miss him. It's a real bummer. We never bred him. We did intend to. So yeah, I think maybe the heavy feeding could be a reason why these animals are dying prematurely. So yeah, rest in peace, Hades. We are having him cremated. We did send in samples to get everything tested, essentially, for any type of virus or disease, which was quite expensive to do, but we figured it was a good thing to do to try to find out exactly what happened. So we will keep you posted and let everyone know our findings once we have them.